Hey, good evening, Somers, and welcome to the Somers Town Board regular meeting, Thursday, January 14th, 2021. If you would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. Patty, roll call.
Councilman William G. Faulkner.
Here.
Councilman Richard G. Clinchie.
Here.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirico.
Here.
Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr.
Here.
Supervisor Rick Morrissey.
Present. Our first order of business tonight is to open a public hearing on the proposed local law to amend Chapter 92. Publishing and posting, Patty?
That was published in the Somers Record on December 31st and posted on the town clerk's bulletin board the same day.
Thank you. Okay, I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Okay, so this is actually a change to our code, which would make it easier for people to, residents can do subdivisions, not having to go through, if they want to do a lot line change with their neighbor, they wouldn't have to go through the same procedure that a developer would have to go through to, break out 23 different lots. So you have some backup. Just reading through here.
This was the one that the planning board suggested and
Yeah,
unanimously approved?
Right, anybody in favor of adding lot line adjustments as a type of action type 2 action on chapter 92-6B paren 2 to the town code, which would reduce the burden on applicants for this type of request and was strongly in favor of its approval by the town board. That's exactly what I said. So,
No-brainer.
any questions the board has? If not, I'll go to Paul and Tom for any kind of public input or questions.
Looking at my fully charged iPhone, there are no questions.
I have
Okay.
nothing as of now.
Okay. Yeah, this, we've had some public hearings that have been controversial. This is not one of them. This is making our codes a little more user-friendly.
Yep.
Okay, if no further comment from the public or the town board, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. And I'll make a further motion to adopt the proposed local law amendment to Chapter 92 entitled Environmental Quality Review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Okay, so the next item of business is public comment. I'll make a motion to open public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved.
I still have 0 comments on my fully charged iPhone.
Okay. All right, so we will,
Keep it open.
as has been our practice in this new world, we'll keep public comment open for the duration of the meeting. And then should someone want to make a comment, we'll let them in and they can make their comment. So that would bring us to department reports. Patty?
I have reports with the town clerk, building inspector, zoning board of appeals, plumbing, Bureau of Fire Prevention, planning and engineering, tax receiver, and director of finance.
We'll be back till Monday night.
Great, thank you. Okay. Moving right along to town board business. The Town of Somers COVID-19 update. Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is the vaccine is actively being distributed, and folks throughout Westchester are getting inoculated. For all you healthy people under 65, there's no dates for you guys to get your inoculations. But if you're 65 and older, if you're in police department, fire department, EMS, hospital worker, a doctor, a dentist, you are all eligible to receive your inoculations now. And if you go on to the many websites that there are, you can go through our town website. You can find out where the sites are that are giving the immunization shots. So that's the good news. The bad news is we are still in the grips of the pandemic. This is coming up on a year of people getting this virus, suffering through it, or not making it through. And healthy people usually get by, but to date in New York State, we've lost 31,000 people, almost 32,000. That's incomprehensible. I mean, a year ago today, there were 32,000 people who were thriving, and then they developed the virus and didn't survive. New York State cases, as of beginning of the week, 1,140,156. That's statewide. Westchester County, beginning of the week, we were at 78,534 cumulative cases that are existing in the county. Let's say overnight, I think this was Sunday night going into Monday, there were 803. That's just Westchester County. Now, what we are seeing these increases to, we can all speculate and guess, but it's pretty evident that between Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, that there's been a spike in COVID cases. Now, each one of those holidays involves smaller gatherings. And this is what's being touted as the major cause of transmission in this day and age. What happens when people get behind closed doors in a residence? The mask comes off, they talk, they're in an enclosed environment, and this is how this virus is transmitted. We've learned that there's a new development with the virus, a mutation, which makes it even more contagious. So couple the more contagious virus with people being lax and socially interacting, and it's a recipe for, I think over the last 2 weeks, we had something like 47 new cases, 32 new cases. Fortunately, today we only had 14 new cases. But there's 227 active COVID cases. These are cases in our community where people are isolating, the rest of the family is quarantining. And you can bet that those people, are being very much inconvenienced, as their families are, as the employees of the families are. So this virus is having a very, very effects and impact on on businesses and on families. I was just looking at our total numbers of positive cases in Somers is, as of today, is 1,242. So we've had 1,242 individuals tested positive for COVID virus. That's 5% of our population. And just think about that. A year ago, 1,242 people were healthy, going about their business, and a year later, they've contracted, and the majority of them, God willing, have survived. But we've lost citizens in the town of Somers, and that the fatality numbers they share with on a county level, but they do not share that on a local level. So I really don't have that information to share. But suffice it to say, COVID virus is still with us. I'm happy to say that no transmission of the virus has been linked to any of the town properties. The house, the highway department, the water department, the building department, Parks and Recreation, Van Tassel House, or the townhouse, because we are taking protective measures. And we fog once a week with disinfectant. You can't come into the townhouse or the annex or the building department without going through a temperature check. You're asked medical questions. You're given hand sanitizers, and then you're sent off to wherever you're going to visit. So I'm comfortable with what we're doing, but once again, it's what it boils down to is each individual has to take the responsibility. If you're a parent, you have to instill this in your children. They go out and socialize, guess what? They're coming home and sharing it with you. So if they're not practicing proper protection, then they're not really protecting you. So I'll get off my soapbox, but this is still with us. We have a vaccine. It's being distributed, but it can't happen soon enough. And so
Rick,
that's it for the COVID.
I don't
Anyone
know
has
if
a
you,
comment?
I don't know if you would agree with this or not, but it's funny. Back in March and April, it seemed like whenever you heard somebody had it, it was a friend of a friend of a friend. And now you're finding it's, your friends, people who you know directly. So hopefully that's getting them more and more people. I know you tout it all the time about wear a mask. Hopefully people are listening. And the other little bit of good news that I heard this morning was it sounds like Johnson & Johnson is close to a vaccine that is a 1-dose treatment that does not have to be refrigerated as highly as some of the others. I heard that on the talk shows this morning. So hopefully they'll roll that out quickly and but again, they're one of the ones that the production is lagging very far behind. So just, you're right. Exactly what you said. Everybody just stay safe and wear a mask.
Yeah, here.
I think one of the things to note is that the Westchester rate, while you say we're at 5%, a little bit below 5%, Westchester is at 8 point something percent overall of the 900,000 something people and the 78,000 that have had it. But and then to the north of us, Putnam is pretty high too. So I think Somers is pretty good, but people get lax, like you said right at the start, Rick. People get lax, and with the vaccination, I think that there's going to be the temptation by some. Well, I've got the vaccine, so hey, I'm not wearing this mask. It's a pain, and I think the thing that government, all health authorities, all doctors have to emphasize is you may have the vaccine, you won't get sick, but you can carry it. Just like if you've had COVID, you can then carry it and give it to somebody else. So even if you get the vaccine soon, you still have to take care of other people by keeping your mask on and not doing something dangerous. It's still going to be, 6 months or more till, you can sort of go back to normal. But my question was, so getting around all the sites to register for a vaccine, has been daunting for a lot of people. You hear a lot of people saying, I got my kids doing it, you know. Do we have all of those, or can we put on our website all the places that people need, so you can just click it on? They don't have to go looking for it somewhere. Just click on this to get in the line. It's a long line, but you want to get on that line as quickly as you can if you want the vaccine. Are we able to do that? Have we done that? You know?
That's
Yes, I do know, and no, we can't. You need to fill out the state form to qualify. If you answer all the questions correctly, you know, are you over 65? Are you a police officer, a fire department, EMS? Then at the bottom of the form, you submit it, and then it will say you are eligible to receive the vaccine. Click on the places where it's available. And then you're directed to call those places. So I'm not sure. I mean, I've been through this process with just what you said, Rich. People are having a hard time. You know, I took the time and filled out the form with them and clicked on this. So the nearest place right now, well, there's a number of places, but if you go on this form, Rite Aid in Mayapack is listed as a
Right.
place to get the vaccine. We contacted Rite Aid in Mayapack. They don't have the vaccine.
Right.
They are taking names. Somers Pharmacy is not on that list yet, but
Right.
they're expecting the vaccine any day, and they are accepting phone calls of people who are eligible, and they'll ask you on the phone, and they're keeping lists of people that they will follow up with when they get the vaccine. So
But
I
we
wish-
could put a link onto that state form. I mean, I've filled that
Oh,
thing
up
out
there.
too.
It's up there.
That's
Oh, it's up
there.
there. Okay, that's my question. Right.
Rick
Yeah,
said that
oh.
at last meeting. I actually went on and tried it. So yeah, that works. Rick
Okay,
put it
good,
on last
good.
time.
Yeah, so that's there, but the new news is if you can't do the form, and this, you know, what Somers Pharmacy will have the vaccine at some point in time, as will all these other sites. But you know, I've been in contact with them, and if you're a town resident and you're in that phase 1B, I think that's where we are, they will take your name and contact you as they come to you on the list. I'm sure CVS will have it, you know, but if you go to the site, it's a bunch of information
Yeah.
about how to
So-
access.
So
Rick
Yeah.
meant,
so the site
Rick-
brings you to the inventory of spots where you can get it, but it's not a prerequisite to get the vaccine. In other words, if you know of a site that's giving and you contact them and they have an opening,
Right, well, let me put it this way. New York State has taken control of distribution. So much so, you know, Westchester County was not even involved in the initial stages of the distribution. This is what I've learned. Only recently, and the only way to get vaccinated was being in contact with the state. Now it's kind of loosened up a little more, and the county is actually issuing inoculations down in White Plains at their facility. New York State has opened, strangely enough, New York State has done it, but it's the Westchester County Center, which hopefully you all realize at this point has been converted into a hospital. No more basketball games down there, Rich. But they're giving inoculations out there, but you have to get onto one of these links to get into that site. But I happen to know locally, you can call, you know, our pharmacies and get on list and kind of circumvent that. Yeah.
okay,
and Rick, just so you know, after you said that last meeting about having a link, I just went on to try it out. Obviously, I came up as not eligible, so it didn't put me anywhere. But it did bring me right to the site where you had to answer the questions and all. So, you know, the link's there and it works.
and it's right on the front page that we
Yep.
have there. It's just, it's in the COVID box, right? You kind of click on that and
Right.
go into the section there.
Tom Garrity, child councilman.
Yes, not eligible.
Okay, then.
It
All right,
sounds
just
like you have to work at it.
on our, any other COVID-related information or questions? Okay. Item number 2, police reform and reinvention collaboration. As you know, Governor Cuomo has mandated that all municipalities review their police procedures and not only review, but get public input, develop a plan, hold a public hearing, and get this all done and sent up to the state by April 1 of this year. So in preparation for this, you needed to have a community forum to start discussing this, which we have been doing under our Somers Community Council, which was formed a number of years ago. So members of that council have, heard from our town police about procedures and what's up on the website under the topic of police reform is their policies on how they handle any kind of control, how they will control someone they're arresting, and
Use of force policy.
thank you. I was at a loss for use of force policy.
I get it. It's fine.
Thanks for the rescue. So that's up there for review. We've asked committee members to look into that. The next steps, I guess, on our behalf would be to, put together what we see as a response to police reform, where we've selected some people on that committee for a subcommittee that we will share some information with to get their input, on our use of force policy. I don't think, from the feedback I've gotten from the committee, they're saying, well, this police reform is all driven by what's happened on a national basis, and it really doesn't apply to Somers. But, in essence, what people also pointed out is, well, yeah, people don't admit biases. We all have biases, but no one walks around saying, yeah, I'm biased. So this is a way it really forces us to look closer at police reform. And believe me, we have some very intelligent and interesting people on the Somers Community Council that we're going to be involving in this. So I think we have a meeting coming up in early February again with them. Roland, I'll ask this question of you. Would there be, since this, well, it's not publicly advertised because it's a closed committee meeting, but could we have town board members, more than one, be at a Somers Community Council meeting?
You can have more than one. You can't have 3. You can have 2.
Okay, what if
Less than a majority.
Okay, what if we posted it as a public meeting?
That's fine. Then all 5 of you could be there. Post it as a special town board meeting and a committee meeting.
Okay, well, if there's a interest on the board to do that, let me know. You don't have to let me know now, but let me know when we have time to, give Patty, how much of a notice do we have to give?
72 hours?
Right.
For a special meeting, 72? Okay.
So
Unless it's an emergency.
Correct.
Yeah.
is there a
All right.
is there a document that we're gonna have to put out? I mean, it's a-
Yeah,
so we're gonna, I guess it'll have come out of your office, right?
well, no, it's a,
It really comes out of the chairman of the committee.
yeah.
So-
It'll be coming from the Somers Community Council, really.
So do we have a chairman that with an agenda, I guess? I mean, if people there, we've been there, I've been there, right? But, the areas are going to touch upon, I mean, we put out the use of force policy, areas you want to talk about. It's about transparency, police training, diversity, inclusion, things like what's your police complaint and review procedures, and, what's your community policy practices, and our outreach practices. I mean, we're out there all the time, but I think, somebody's going to have to put something together and articulate that in a
Yes, well,
document.
Yeah, I'm in the process of twisting some arms to get some ownership other than the town supervisor being the chairman. But, and I'm thinking of at least 3 individuals that really stepped up at the last meeting and circle back around with them.
Good.
So I just want to kind of give the board an update on where we are with police reform.
At what point does that document become publicly available where everyone can, or anyone can comment on it? I got a call a while ago from a woman up in Heritage Hills whose job it is to, I guess, disseminate information. She's on some committee at Heritage Hills, I guess, on this. So she was asking me the question. I said, well, there's nothing right now. There might be in the future. So at what point will that happen? Do we know?
You probably should post the progress to the website. I mean, the police use of force policy is there. Okay, right?
Right,
So some of these other areas, we can post as we go.
right. So,
I
yeah,
would think that would be a good idea. Yeah.
And like Anthony said, the use of force policy is up there, and knowing how time flies, April 1st is going to be here before you know it. I would say, as a result of our February meeting, that the bones of something that we can put out to the public gets done. I would like to see that maybe at our March 1st work session, have a public hearing, maybe possibly on that date, to collect input. On the off chance it'll be a actual face-to-face meeting, that'd be wonderful. But if we're not there, we're not there. But
Well, you're an optimist.
yeah, always.
So, if we're going to meet in February with the council, you want to have a public hearing, in March? Maybe we got to start moving on that somehow, because meetings are not,
No, when
we're
you
already through, we're already through January, right?
right.
Goes fast.
I know. So to be continued.
All right.
Okay, our next item of business is Highview Court. As you know, this is a proposal for a 2-building, 24-unit multifamily project on Highview Terrace and Route 100. It's currently zoned R80, which is 2-acre zone. So, the project would need a zoning amendment. We've had the applicant in front of us a number of times. So I think we're at the point where we should take some actions and refer it out for review by other departments and interested parties. So the first thing I think we should do is declare ourselves lead agency and distribute the updated submission to all involved agencies. Roland, do we have to move on these, each one of them, or can we just do all of them?
I think you can do them all.
Okay. So then the next thing would be to refer proposed zoning text changes and changes to the comprehensive comprehensive plan, the Somers Planning Board and the Westchester County Planning Board. And then set a date for the public hearing on the zone change and a separate public hearing for the changes to the comprehensive plan for the meeting of February 11th, 2020. So I guess on that date, we'd have 2 public hearings, one on the zoning and then one on the comprehensive plan.
Correct.
So
We don't expect to have feedback, all done by that time, though, from Westchester or maybe even from the planning board, right? I mean, that takes a little longer, doesn't it?
Well, they
Yeah,
have,
but we don't
they
have
have
to
a
go-
maximum of 30 days. Usually the county planning board's pretty prompt.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not sure if we'll have something back from the Somers Planning Board by then. You may end up having to keep it open.
Right, so that's always an option, but
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, we can do that. All right, so I'll make a motion to move, declare ourselves lead agency, refer the text change to the Somers and County Planning Board, and set a date for the 2 public hearings on the comprehensive plan and the zone change to February 11th.
Second.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Aye, so moved.
Okay.
Okay, the next item of business is to authorize the supervisor to execute the proposal to provide traffic consulting services from Hardesty and Hanover LLC for peer review of the proposed residential development at Highview Court, 259 Route 100, Somers, New York, in the amount of $5,000 plus out-of-pocket expenses per referral from Saret Dim, Director of Planning. So obviously, this is a traffic study on the impacts of having a 24-unit multifamily building down on Route 100. So I'll make a motion to authorize supervisor to execute that proposal.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Okay, we have no parks and recreation business. Personnel. Okay, have I mentioned that the town is run by its volunteers?
I vaguely recall.
Not lately.
And then there's plenty of opportunity there.
Not this meeting.
Or not in the last 5 minutes. So, yeah, we do have openings, and, please come out and get yourself involved in the town. I'd like to acknowledge the retirement of Helga Stanton as part-time dog control officer in the town's clerk's office. She's been there for the past 24 years. So Helga, we spoke. I wished you good luck in your retirement, and you've been a fixture in the town, and all those folks who have lost dogs and you've retrieved them and taken care of them and got them to the shelter and what have you. You've really been a very big contributor to the quality of life in the town of Somers. So we thank you and wish you the best in your retirement.
Yes, we do.
Here. So the next, I want to authorize the reappointment of Kathy Cucciarella to the Somers Partners and Prevention Committee to a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'd just like to say that Kathy has just done a tremendous job here. She takes a tremendous amount on herself. She's built a team. She's raised money. She serves as liaison to the school, coordinating with the school counselors. She's running educational programs. You can see that on the websites, our website. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of content just to see about, if you have issues regarding substance abuse or questions about this, you go out on our website. There are notable speakers that she's brought before the school and the student body, and you can see all those training activities and just get the benefit of all that work that's been done over the years. And so it's Partners in Prevention, and she certainly has built a group of partners. I mean, it's a beautiful model. You can't do it on your own. Most people want to come to this and say, we want to fix, but the reality is, we're in the job of educating the community and helping them find, outlets and resources when they need it. And this organization's done an awesome job.
Yeah.
And
I tip my
Kathy's
hat.
done it always with a smile on her
Yes,
face, which
yes.
is always a good thing in any job. So, yeah, you're right, Anthony.
I mean, and she has brought some awesome speakers into this town. Speak to the students as well as parents, as well as, elected officials. And she's really kept, the drug crisis in everybody's front yard because, there is a crisis going on. Unfortunately, we had an overdose death about 2 weeks ago in town. You don't hear it publicized, but that was a young man, 26 years old, no longer with us
Oh, man.
because he was battling with an addiction. Terrible. Okay, I'd like to acknowledge the hiring of Jose Ronaldo Yanza Jr. as a full-time road maintainer at the Highway Department. Contingent upon the successful result of the physical, drug test, reference, background check, New York State driver's license check at an annual salary of $54,184 until union contract termination, which he will receive a 90% of his pay in the first 6 months at an hourly rate of $23.45. Then he will receive 95% after the first 6 months. Upon completion of a 1-year service, he will receive the full salary rate pay per memo dated December 29th from Nicholas DeVito, Deputy Superintendent of Highways, effective January 4th, 2021. So welcome on board, Mr. Yanza. You joined a very talented crew of highway maintainers. And one thing they say about Somers, our roads are always clear in the winter and we maintain them as best we can. And you tell us about a pothole, it'll be filled within 24 hours. Okay. Let's see, we go from, okay, consensus agenda items. 1 through 6. Is there any questions on any of those?
Nope.
No,
Okay, so I'll make a motion to adopt items 1 through 6 on the consensus agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Hey, Rick, just while you're looking at that, I was just thinking, we mentioned, Helga leaving after all this time. There's a great picture in the paper today. I don't know if you saw it, about
did.
she and her 2 sons, both in law enforcement, with a picture of Bob, who had passed away, as we know. So it's a really nice picture, and it's a family that's dedicated a lot of time and is dedicating a lot of time to enforcement in a whole number of areas. State police, local police, dog control. So quite a family.
Yeah, they certainly gave and are giving to the community. Yeah, very much appreciated. Okay, so we do have a few announcements. If I could call into play our town clerk.
Yay. The highlight of the show.
You guys are a great audience. Okay, so here we go. There's a message from our tax receiver. The second half of the school taxes are due by January 31st. Tax office hours are Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. You can check the town website, somersny.com, for multiple ways to pay. The town of Somers Christmas tree recycling is still going on. It's for Somers residents. They may drop off their Christmas trees at the Somers Highway Department. It's free to all residents. Drop-off dates and times are Saturday, January 16th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and January 23rd, which is also a Saturday, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you need help, the Boy Scout Troop 228 can pick up your tree for a suggested donation of $20. And this will help to support the troop.
Patty, just a
please-
question. We don't, the town, neither city carting nor the highway department picks up any trees, right?
No.
Because I do notice
Nope.
as I walk my dog around, a number of people putting their tree out on the curb. I just want to make sure they don't expect someone to pick it up, but they can bring it, and then it gets ground up at the highway department, and people can take part in that mulch. But the Boy Scouts will take it for them. They're putting it out with trash. I think they misunderstood someplace. So I just want to clear it up. Thank you.
The
Yeah,
Boy Scouts have been pretty successful at it, to be honest with you. So a lot of
Good.
people reaching out to them.
That's a great program. Yeah.
I mean, but
Yes.
you are correct. There was a time, I think maybe 3 years ago, where city carting did pick up Christmas trees, because I pleaded with them because they just stopped. And I said, you can't just do that. You gotta let us know so we can come up with alternate plans. So in fact, Nick came on board and wanted to take this on, and more power to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, those Christmas trees along the curb are gonna stay there unless someone brings them to the highway garage. So now they have a way to get them there, or they can bring them there themselves for free.
Right.
Okay, thank you, Patty. Well, and as usual, our next meeting will be February 4th. Will be a work session, 7 p.m. on the same Zoom channel until we hear something different. And all right, any closing comments, issues? Anyone
Just want
wants-
to remind people, if I'm not mistaken, and Rick, you can correct me if I'm wrong, if they have business with the townhouse is closed on Monday.
That's right.
Yeah,
So just for people, just don't want you showing up at the townhouse and the door's locked.
right. Well, we encourage anyone that has business with the town, obviously, to call and make an
Yeah,
appointment.
that's true.
Yeah, we would rather not have you walk in, but I realize with, people wanting to drop off their taxes, there are folks, and I know a number of them, that want to hand their check to the tax receiver, and they will not be dissuaded. We have a box out there where they can drop their taxes. It's a lock box that the tax receiver puts out in the morning, takes it at night. But if you want to come in and drop off your tax payment, you can do so. You come in the front entrance, and like I said before, you get screened, you get your temperature checked, hand sanitized. You're wearing a mask, you'll be asked some health questions, and then you'll be sent to to the tax office. So,
Yeah, I just want to say that, the supervisor's office is still receiving calls from those stubborn utility and Altice issues, and dealing with them with the companies on behalf of our residents. And we're getting some movement on an individual basis, but there still persists. And as far as the telecommunications task force is gone, we're still working on that. The complaints are still being developed at the Public Service Commission the next couple of months. And there's some strategic work being done with the northern towns, with consultants that the county has hired. And they're going to take a look at a strategic plan as it relates to, wireless communication, as new technology comes on board, and, what we would like a footprint to look like. So the northern towns are served in a very comprehensive way. So the work keeps going. The complaints
there-
still come in, and the supervisor's office is still fielding them.
well, I just would encourage people, all residents, if your power goes out, if your cable goes out, call the utilities. Don't call us first. If you're not getting a response, we're more than happy to assist you. But when you call me and tell me your power's out, and I ask you, did you call the NICEAG, and you say no, I'm going to tell you, call them first.
Right.
So that's a message. Tony, one other thing.
It's a
The,
point of escalation.
Yeah, that consultant that the Northern Westchester municipalities are working with, they're also working on 5G, right?
Yes, I mean, essentially, they consulted somebody to put together a footprint for where they want to put capacity in the form of cell towers and in future 5G, right? And come up with a plan, and then with that, use that to negotiate with the communication providers, in terms of where the placement of these things could be to maximize coverage. The things you
Right.
want to look for are partnerships, where you can place towers typically where they're maybe on certain public land if you can, and collect the lease and at the same time serve the community and increase the capacity and availability and coverage. But that's going to work its way out over the next few years. So this is a strategic plan.
Right, so I think the ultimate goal of this consultant is to come up with a master plan for our
Yes.
Northern Westchester communities.
Yes.
So we're better prepared to deal with these utilities, when they come in.
And the county's paid for this. This is not coming out of our pocket.
Yeah, which we're
No.
very appreciative
Not directly out of our pockets.
of. Exactly. We're paying. in one way or another.
Everything comes out of your pocket, yeah.
Okay, if there's no other comments or issues from the town board, I'm gonna make a motion to close tonight's meeting.
No, whoa, close public comment.
Good
Thank
job.
you. I'm not gonna close the meeting, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask Paul and Tom if they've got anyone for public comment.
Yeah, I'll just leave it up for a minute. I have nothing on this side thus far.
And
Okay.
we're going to executive session after this, right?
Right, so not,
I will make that announcement, yes.
Okay.
Okay, we'll just wait for some speed dialers.
No.
Okay, well, as always, people have any questions, issues, concerns, you can always call the supervisor's office and we'll do our best to answer your questions. So I'm gonna make a motion to close the town board meeting, January 14th.
Rick, you're not actually closing it.
we're not
You're
closing the meeting.
adjourning into exec session, not to
Right.
return to public session.
Right.
What he said,
Well
We're gonna-
said.
What he said.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Good night, Somers.
Good night.